All right, hello class. This is Coach Will. We're going to get started with Microsoft Word memos today. I'm going to start rolling through this. A couple of things that we're hoping to accomplish. We're going to be able to identify and create new Word memos based out of Microsoft Word and actually out of any software, any word processing software that you wanted to. You could create a memo from scratch. So that's the idea for you to understand how to format a memo correctly, as well as use some of the templates that are in Microsoft Word. I'm also going to show you some shortcuts, not in this video but actually in class, some shortcuts on how to use the Office templates that'll help you out a whole bunch and speed the process up of making memos. So the first thing we're going to go over, a memo is actually a memorandum. That's the big word. Memo is just a kind of a shortcut version of saying that. We're going to understand what block style is, what's the company style, what's the difference of that, and also what a target audience is. So first thing you need to know is that a memorandum, being the full word, is usually a brief written message or report from a person or a department within a company or an organization to another. And that's the big point, is knowing that it's within a company. It is what is considered, they call an internal document. If it was an external document, it would probably be a press release or something like that. It would be a public document. So a lot of times you use internal documents to keep things internal, information about a company that really doesn't need to be out into the public, but you need to transfer that information from one department to another or from one individual to another. So here's a couple examples. This is just, the first one is just a simple general memo. It's just, you can see there's a couple major parts to it, very defined. It has a nice little title saying, hey, this is just a memo. It says, it's also got your heading, the to, the from, the date, and then you've got your body. We'll go over all that stuff in just a sec. The next one is actually a memo from the U.S. government. This is actually the memo that was sent out in 1950 involving the Roswell Area 51 type stuff about the flying saucers. So you can believe that whether you want to or not. That's not what this video is about. But what I want you to see, the big difference is, you notice that it's got stuff up here about the U.S. government. It talks about that stuff. But notice there are still some similarities. The title's different. It's formatted different. The date is in a different place. And that's what the government says, hey, this is the way we're going to make our memos. So every time you see a memo from the U.S. government, this is what it's going to look like. And this one's still, to the director of FBI. You still got your from, you still got your subject, and it still has the block style. We'll go over that in just a second, but the block style text. So two different styles, same purpose, just one is using a company theme. So it's a company style, if you want to call it that. But to create a new memo, guys, it's pretty simple. We've done this a lot, but you go to the normal way you would start a new file. So you'd go to the file new method of creating a Word, and you'd go into a Word template. So you'd create a Word document, but then you'd go and select file new, which would give you the Word template options. From that, you would create, you would be able to choose the desired template that you want. And that's really based on your target audience. You may have a saved template, okay, in your system based on maybe a company style, which may have the company letterhead or things like that on top of it, or you may just be able to use a general one. Remember, it's all based on your target audience, isn't it? Target audience, basically, the term, what that means is it's your predetermined recipient of a message. Okay, so you know who you want to talk to, you know who this is going to go to. What ends up happening, a lot of times you have a lot of problems, is when this information gets into other people's hands and your target audience is not the person receiving it, and that's where problems come in, and you see it on the news all the time. So let's take a look real quick at the parts of a memo. The very first thing I want you to notice, and every memo is done this way, there are 1-inch margins on the left, margins on the right. There's 1 inch. So when formatting that should always be that way. The second thing I want you to just take note of is the office heading, the memo heading, and it has the to, the from, the date, and the subject. That's typically going to be in every memo, unless a company or an organization decides, you know what, we're going to do that differently. So it's really up to them, isn't it? The body of the memo, and then the typist initials. Why is that there? Well, a lot of times a memo may be going out, and to be honest with you, the President of the United States does not type memos and send them out. He what they call dictates them. they'll have someone right there who takes the little message for him, types it down, and sends it out. And they want the initials of the person who actually took that message and typed it out for them. So just a couple points of interest about memos that you need to know. Obviously the to, I want you to notice that the to, the from, the date, and the subject, all completely capitalized with a colon behind it. Notice the spacing. Okay, we're not going to get that particular as far as the spacing, but the main thing I wanted you to notice is that the to, the from, the date, and the subject are completely capitalized. They all have colons. Okay, the headings are all in caps, but the subject line, now this one they actually did it in all caps, and we'll talk about this in class a little bit more. But the subject line typically is titled like a book, capitalized like a book. The first letter of the word is capitalized, very similar to like the to area up here. Small words such as a, of, to, things like that aren't capitalized, just like if you were looking at a title of a book. But we'll go over this a little bit more in class when we talk about this. So the paragraph style, just want you to be aware of this. The text is aligned to the left. You see this nice blue line. Everything is aligned. There are no indentions for the starting of the paragraphs. This is what is called block style text. Okay, everything's nice and lined up. And so that is really it. Hope you took some notes. If not, go back and jot some notes down. A couple key points obviously that you need to know about this, but take some notes, and we will see you in class. Have some questions. Bring your notes with you to class.